Baruch, good morning. This morning we're going to learn the 29th step of acquiring Torah. Yesterday, the 28th step was Ahuv, to be loved and beloved amongst others. The next step, the 29th step, is Ohev et hamakom, which means to love God. Hamakom is referred to as HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a very interesting way to refer to God, because we know God is not something, not something or someone, a physical being, obviously not. So he's everywhere and nowhere, kind of at the same time. So it is a very deep way to refer to God as Hamakom, the place, which means he's filled everything, he's filled all the place, yet we can't touch him because it's not something that is tangible. However, what does it mean to be Ohev et hamakom, to love God? It means as follows. The Talmud tells us that anyone who wants to learn Torah has to really understand that there is a lot of effort and hardship to learn. Even just the mental exercise of learning is something which is not easy. It's not like reading a newspaper. When we learn Torah, the Chumash, Talmud, Halakha, it's not sitting back with your legs crossed over and a pina colada outside in the backyard. It doesn't work that way. That's nice. It's good for starters. But to get deep into what real Torah is all about, it's hard work. It's scratching your head. It's losing some hair over it. It's losing sleep over it. It's squinting your eyes. It's really trying to understand in every way possible. So, like in any type of love, if a person wants to grow that relationship, make that relationship better, you have to obviously love what you are doing in order to give to it. It's between spouses, parents to children, to friends, to community members. When you love somebody, you're going to do something that's even inconvenient for you, or something that's a hardship for you in order to do for the other because you love them. If a person does not have the love of God that we are commanded to, that we read at least twice a day, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha, uv'chol nafshecha, uv'chol meodecha, that we are commanded to love God with all of our heart, all of our soul, all of our wealth, our very being. If a person does not love God, then these steps of acquiring Torah are going to be very hard to attain. So that's one aspect. Then, once a person already had that basic amount of love for God in order to dive into the Torah, once a person's in the Torah and they learn more about God, more about His wisdom, more about the world that we live in, more about interpersonal relationships, about business law, about the past and the history of our forefathers and all of the Nevi'im, that also promotes even more love for God. So we have an initial love for God to get us to learn Torah. And once a person learns more Torah, the more Torah you learn, the more love for God a person has, because they are seeing how genius God's brain, so to say, works, and how genius the Torah is, and how genius the divine inspiration that He gave to our Chachamim to write what they wrote and how they wrote is something which promotes even more love from us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's a double-edged sword in a good way. Start with a little bit of love to get into it, and then it promotes even more love. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us and put in our hearts at least that initial spark of love if it's not already there, or to add to it, B'ezrat Hashem, and that when we do jump in and we do learn Torah, that we do find it pleasant. It's not always pleasant. It doesn't always mean that at the end of every day, before you go to sleep, you're able to close your Gemara, close the book you're learning, and say, I get it. It doesn't always work that way. There are many days where you close it and you're bothered because you didn't understand it. That's true love. That is true love. May we all have the merit to find such a situation where we go to sleep at night bothered because we didn't understand what we were learning that day. Today is Erev Shabbat. Tonight